Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome to our class, Introduction to Software Engineering. Today we will discuss and then talk about software processes. Okay, software processes. From the last class, we talk about introduction to software engineering. Okay, as the definition from IEEE, they say the application of systematic, discipline, and quantifiable approach to development, operation, and maintenance of software. So this is the definition given by the IEEE, that the application of systematic, okay, how to apply the systematic in software engineering, how to make this discipline, how to make the software engineering quantifiable. Okay, in another form is how to make the software can be measurable. Okay, in terms of development, operation, and maintenance. Okay, not just only development, there are also operation. Okay, how to make it happen. Okay, how to maintain after we release the edition of software. Okay, to make software go well. Okay, suitable for the user. Okay, so the discipline can be applied to entire software lifecycle. It should be applied entire lifecycle, as we talk the lifecycle of software, right? Start, we have requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, and evolution, right? And then last class we discussed about process layer. Okay, the three main fundamental layer of software engineering block. Okay, process, method, and tool layer. Okay, today we will discuss about process. As we know, the process is activity task. Okay, activity task. Start from requirement to the evolution. Whatever kind of process. Okay, this is the fundamental of thing that every methodology, software methodology, software model, they should follow. Okay, process is the order and detail of these activities. Okay, to make it order and make it detail, it's about process. Flow, type, detail, or artifact. There are different type of model. As we know, we have agile, we have waterfall, we have unify, we have prototype, we have many. Right now is the modern way of the processes we call DevOps, okay, development operation. We call DevOps in the short term. Okay, we have method, okay, a practice with proven technique to perform a certain activity. Okay, for each process, we have to have method to make it that process achievable. Okay, achievable. So we have to have a method. We have a tool to support our activity. To support our activity, especially make it to be automating. Okay, make it to be automating. We do not use such as paper to written some kind of long collecting data and requirement, developing and writing coding. So we have to use some kind of tool. Okay, modern tool, as we are going to use as we call visual paradigm gem or another. Okay, or star UML, something like that. Okay, this for today we will talk about process layer. Okay, process layer. This is the given the definition of process. Okay, a process consists of generic activity. Okay, there are requirement specification, design, development, testing, deployment, and evolution. This is the generic of any process or any module Okay. Whatever kind of module, even it new module or modern trend of module, they must what we call consist of this activity or this process or activity. A process model is indicate activity flow. Okay, it's used for indicate, okay, identify or something define activity flow, organization, and artifact level of detail. Okay, you see this one from requirement to evolution. Okay, there are activity, right, flow, step by step from requirement to design to development, right? It's just to organize, right? You may start from design, you may start from requirement, you may start from testing. It depends on which model they are using. Okay, and then each activity, okay, each activity in the software process, they will generate the artifact, okay, the result, okay, the result of each activity. Okay, for example, requirement will generate requirement specification. Okay, in design it will generate the design term. Okay, for example, UI UX architecture design, low level design, high level design, something like that. In testing, they will write the code for testing, how to test. Okay, especially how to test to make sure that your software that you are developing is what we call stable, okay, stable, and can be deployed and can be maintained after. One the famous and well known of the process is we say waterfall, okay, or another name is called linear, because it start from requirement to the evolution, right, to deploy something by linear, okay, step by step. For example, here they say that systematic, okay, the waterfall is systematic and sequential approach to the software lifecycle. Okay, you can see here it start linear design, okay, requirement specification, design, development, validation, deployment, and evaluation, or another name is maintenance. Okay, maintenance. Okay, if you look at this model, they may have add some look back. Okay, may look back from the what we call from another process. For example, from validation to development to design. Okay, but change are difficult to implement. Okay, for example, you got already requirement specification, and then you design, and then you want to change again to the requirement. It takes time, because according to this model, it's linear. Okay, you have to complete entire circle. Again, every circle is take time. Okay, there's only one line, one time of circle. Okay, customer have to clearly define all requirement at the start. This is the difficult task also, because if you follow this model, okay, this process, so you have to make everything complete for each step. For example, if you want to develop some kind of application, you have to know everything about that application first. So you design the requirement, okay, and then you start to design and do the coding and do the validation. You cannot jump back from requirement to development, design to development, something like that, because it's you have to make sure your requirement first, everything that you want to develop or our customer need. According to this model, customer will wait until the very end to see the first software workable version. So they have to wait, because according to this model, they have to wait 4 months, 3 months, a month, for example. It's very long wait to see the what we call the version, the beta or alpha version of the application. So it will suitable for some kind of application, but not for all. Okay, this is what we call waterfall. Waterfall. When we use waterfall, okay, when the requirements are clear upfront and changes are not expected. Okay, if you develop something and then you are sure that change will not happen, so you can use this waterfall model, because it will make you quick in developing. Okay, in development. So, but if we consider in the real situation, the change is always happen. Okay, so you make decision to use this waterfall, so be consider, okay, reconsider, and then rethink this is suitable or not with your what we call development cycle. However, still the model present one short workable version of the software. Okay, incremental delivery so this version, because you have to complete everything at the beginning and then until the end, so it will take time to present your workable version, or what we call the beta version of your software. So you can use another what we call model or process we call incremental, okay, delivery. So this problem. Okay, another model we call iterative incremental. Okay, iterative incremental, created in response to waterfall model, because waterfall model cannot be you have to what we call one shot okay, of development. You have to complete all process, follow line by line, okay, by linear. Okay, step 1 has to complete first, and then you can move to step 2. Okay, this is and then go to step 3. The people or the development phase on step 2, they have to wait until the development of the first step complete first. Okay, this is the issue we call change requirement not suitable in waterfall. So they create another model, okay, iterative or incremental. The essence of evolutionary models such as Agile and IUP. IUP and Agile, another name of process model or process life cycle, is based on iterative or incremental model. Okay, what do iterative and incremental mean? How do they differ? Okay, let's see. Okay, incremental delivery, it will increment. Okay, increment of delivery. Requirement are assigned priority. Okay, should be priority. Increment are defined each containing portion of requirement. Okay, each increment then analyzed in detail. Increment then goes through design, development, testing, and deployment. Okay, they may also add evaluation. Okay, they go by increment. Okay, increment. What we call increments. You develop the first part. Okay, and then you develop another part. Okay, then add together to become the complete software. Okay. Increment are time box, fixed predefined maximum execution time. If you want to see the software quickly, okay, you want to see, for example, a part of software, you can use this model, okay, because it's you can develop a part of model and then they present to your client, your customer, and then your customer will see the what we call the version of software first, and then they can make another decision according to the change requirement. Finished increment are integrated into the overall system for customer to see. Okay, because developed by increment. Okay, so it can be separate for many line of increment. It can be first part, second part, the third part, and then after they complete for each part, they combine together to be the overall system. Okay. Iterative, okay, development. Iterative development, because of incremental development is a scheduling method to delivery requirement. So iterative development is a method for refine the work done. Okay, the work done. Refinement can be done on a specific increment. Okay, it's based on increment also, but it's iterative. Okay, it's iterative. Some very small part. Okay, very more small part. Refinement can also be done full process model. Such as waterfall, because if you look at any process, any model, okay, any life cycle, they are following the waterfall, but they are rearranged, okay, rearranged according to the activity flow, and then the time they take, it will take for each process, okay, for each activity. Iterative development does not mandate or it is attached to increment delivery through frequently used together. Okay, and you see this one. It will be iterative. Okay, iterative. You see, this is the summarize, the short explanation by picture by figure. Okay, you see this one. There are two comparison between incremental delivery and iterative delivery. For example, you want. According to this one, we have a car, right? We want to develop a car. So increment 1, if you see in terms of increment, we have developed part of car. And increment 2 is a part of car. And then the full version is combined to part of car to become full version of car. Okay. Iterative development, for example, here we have iterative 1, iterative 2, and the final iterative. It will develop very small part. Okay, it's not just only divide by part, but divide by iterative. Okay, you may develop by because small things, as you see this figure, okay, and then combine it together. What we call it, start from unclear requirement, and then you will develop something, and then the second requirement more little bit clear, okay, and then another final iteration will be a little bit more clear. Okay, this is the difference between the incremental and iterative. Okay, if you look at here, incremental, the requirement should be, what we say, the requirement should be clear. Okay, requirement should be clear. But iterative requirement, it can be changeable because it's a very small part. it will not affect a lot of it will not affect too much to the overall system. Okay. They are able also to what we can say to combine or to merge between these two processes, incremental and iterative. Okay, we can develop by using incremental 1, incremental 2, and then plus iterative 1, iterative 2, iterative 3, blah blah blah, something like this as you see this figure. Okay, you look at this figure, this one, you see, iterative plus increment 1. Okay, increment 1. Oh, this is a 1, and then iterative 1, 2, 3. Okay, they develop plus apart because of increment, the requirement should be fixed already, and then from that requirement you can design for each that part. Okay, in each increment we have a part of our car, this one, right? And then you can add iterative for each increment. Okay, it becomes something like this, and then a little bit more become full version. Okay, for example, this one version 1, and then another is become version 2. Okay, this is the combination of incremental and iterative. Okay, the combination of iterative and increment are essential part of agile. Okay, agile as a scrum or sprint or kanban, they are based on agile. So the agile is based on incremental and what we call iterative combined together. So if you want to learn about agile, this is a part of agile. Okay, this is where is agile come from. It come from iterative and incremental that combine it together. This is the story that I want to tell you, because if we right now most of us interesting about agile, and then we think that agile, and we hope that agile can help us in developing software, even that big or small software. Okay, and then we will talk about agile. What is the agile? Okay, unified process. Okay, another process. Okay, unified process is also built around iterative and incremental delivery. Okay, the new modern of agile and unified process both are based on incremental and iterative and incremental. So if you want to learn, you go by fundamental of these two processes, agile and unified. So you have to understand the iterative and incremental. Okay. There are the famous one also we call prototype. Okay, the process we call prototype is prototype is a early example, model, or release of a product built to test a concept or process. You want to test something, to test your idea quickly. Okay, to make your idea, you think that I want to develop a software A. So and then you try to see this. If I follow the waterfall, it takes time to see the what we call example of the software, because you have to go through step by step. But in terms of prototype, it's very short term. You can create what we call the real software. Okay, the real software, and then to see your idea is working or not, or test the customer to make the example for the customer that this is your idea like this or not. This is this we call prototype. Okay, we call prototype. When is a prototype used? When to use the prototype? Okay. If you want to derive customer requirement, okay, prototype is good things. The requirement and the customer not sure about requirement, so it's better to use a prototype, because what prototype derive feedback, which help clarify what we call something that user not sure, and then conflicting and ambiguous requirement. So we can deliver some kind of the thing that this is your need or not according to customer need. Okay, to make the test, to make the example first before we can develop the full version of software. Okay, mitigate technical and architecture risk. Okay, it will be reduce what we call technical issue. Okay, architecture and then new technology. you can try based on this one, because we do not develop the full version. We do not take the requirement for all things, but we take some part of requirement to make sure that the requirement is work well, and then we test by using prototype, and then we can test whatever we need. Okay, whatever we need to see our idea or customer idea is working or not, according to the development of prototype. This is we call prototype. Okay. In summarize, that we can say that the prototype is we can use for testing our idea. Okay, by quickly. Okay, by quickly. We don't need to wait anything. We just take the what we call as we define here. Prototype can be a process and technique. Okay, because it's very what we call easy to use, and it's essential if you want to test your idea. Okay, you have an idea, so better to use a prototype. For example, here as we discussed, prototype can be model and technique. Okay, as a model, we start from customer communication. Okay, we build, and then we customer test and feedback. Just only 3 steps of working. Okay, we talk to customer, and then build whatever tool available, what technique available, and then see the test from customer, and then feedback. That the main thing we need a feedback. Okay, the real software, we need a feedback from the user that make sure that that we call our software is working based on customer need or not. Okay, if you develop software and then you don't care about customer, and then even you complete the software but it's not become useful for customer, we cannot call that software is successful. Okay. As a technique used within the process model, it can be used with any process model. It can be used in RUP, spiral, but utilize prototype technique. Okay, any process can be implemented the technique of what we call prototype. Okay. Okay. Prototype. When we want to use a prototype, okay, prototype process model are not that common. Because we do not use it as a common thing. Okay. We use a prototype when what we call unlikely to make 100% unclear requirement or 100% risk architecture use case. When we see a kind of project that we do not sure that what requirement they want, and then what kind, how many requirement, how big requirement, and then we do not sure about architecture, which part we have to design, what kind of architecture to design. So better to use a prototype that we can design first, and then let the customer feedback and test the thing they need or not. Okay, this is a term of prototype. Another model, okay, we call spiral. Okay, we call spiral. Spiral is a risk-driven. Okay, risk-driven. It's based on risk because of many. We can say that every project is risk. Okay, risk. It just only is many or we call it's small or big risk. So there are another spiral model. Okay, we call model process software process. Okay, combine incremental iterative advantages and the systematic control waterfall approach. It combines incremental, iterative, and waterfall model together to become spiral. Okay, as spiral is an approach to incrementally growing a system's degree of definition and implementation while decreasing its degree of risk. Okay, they try to combine what we call the approach of waterfall, okay, and then class with incremental and iterative, and then forward to decrease a degree of risk, okay, to decrease the risk, okay, to decrease the risk. If we follow waterfall, you have to start from the requirement, analyze, design, development, deployment, and testing, whatever. Follow the step, and then you cannot be look back to something when something happen. There is not because they not follow the thing that we want. We cannot go back to redesign or requirement. So this is the big issue of waterfall. So we can use spiral. You still like waterfall, and then incremental and iterative for more what we call chain adaptive. Okay, chain adaptive or chain requirement. You see here, this is an example of spiral diagram. Okay, spiral diagram is in spiral model or spiral process. Okay, it will start by what we call the first definition. They will start from here. Okay, it will start from here. Start from objective. Okay, and then go to detail, analyze, and risk. Okay, action to reduce risk, prototype and build. Okay, prototype and build, and then go to the another step. Increment is develop and test. No single development model is mandated. Okay, this one, and then customer review and design is further loop and are needed or not. Okay, they start from idea and then to the risk. They will set the plan and then they will see the risk. How is risk of this what we call feature? Okay, of this what we call module, and then develop according to this one. Okay, spiral model or what we call incremental plus waterfall model. Okay, for each step is they will follow the what we call waterfall. Follow generic activity. Okay, or is we follow the generic activity. They are including requirement, design, develop, testing, evolution, something like that. Okay. Okay. Spiral. The good advantage and disadvantage of each model. Okay. Every model we can say that they are good in some part and lacking in some part. Okay. For example, this is for spiral. It's suitable for large and complex project. Okay, if you would do a project with that very big. Okay, very big. So this is a good thing. Okay, the good thing because they apply the risk driven to see the risk. Okay, the risk. What is the risk? Okay, someone may ask, what is the risk? The risk is something that some kind of thing that will make effect to your project, and then that project will not delivery according to the cost and the time limited. Okay, the time effort. So it will affect to the cost. Okay, the risk means that it can be take. For example, you may take this resource. Okay, budget. You have a limited budget. Okay, but without analyzing the risk, it may increase your cost in development, and then it will increase the time. I mean, it will delay the release the version, and then it will take much more cost. So we have to do risk analysis to make sure that especially in large and complex project. Okay, it adopt incremental delivery. It use prototype technique and mitigate the risk. Okay, analyze the risk. Complex to manage. Okay, because it's a very huge model, so it's difficult to make some kind of change in this one. Okay, high cost. Okay, it will take high cost because there are many persons involved in this project. Okay, everyone should be involved in this project, so it will take high cost. Okay, it will take a lot of cost. Therefore, not suitable for small or medium-sized project. Okay, you want to develop a small web application, some kind of what we call small application. This is not suitable for the project. So better to use another model. Okay. Any question? Okay. Any question about the discussion? Yes.
I think no, teacher.
No. I think that you did learn about this thing, right? On ISAT?
ISAT. Yeah.
Yes.
About analysis.
Yes, right. You learn about process, right? Some kind of process, right?
Yeah, like the waterfall process.
Okay. Yes. Nice. Okay. Let's talk about agile. Okay, agile. If we say you search about agile, they become the main we call method or process that what we call modern development will choose to run on. Okay, so we can say that. There are many. There we can say that new startup, new company, or we call startup. They enjoy to use agile. Okay, they like to use agile because of flexible. Okay, flexible. You don't need to follow the what we call by iterative. You don't need to follow by what we call step by step, but you can jump to each step quickly. Okay, each step quickly. You do not wait someone to done something, but you can do. You can start your part without waiting another person. Okay, or all parts start and finish within a short term or short time. This is the benefit and the advantage of agile. Let's see. Okay, the agile. Okay, agile is based on incremental and iterative delivery. Okay, as we see here, agile is not. They do not build agile based on it, but based on it's not. They do not build the agile based on the agile itself, but based on incremental and iterative delivery. It means that it's based on something exists, some exist model already. So right here is incremental and iterative. So the agile promise to create reliable software. Okay, I mean that software is strong enough and then serve to customer well. Okay, we call they serve to the requirement of the customer well. We call reliable software quickly. Okay, you can create software quickly by using agile. This is the promise of agile. Eliminate waste and then overhead. Okay, especially meetings and document. Okay, meeting and document, because if you follow requirement as you follow the process of waterfall, incremental, something or some kind of similar, they have to have a lot of meeting. Okay, they have to have a lot of meeting. For each meeting they have to take a long time. So this is overhead. Okay, wasting time. Okay, there also a document. If you follow the waterfall, there are a lot of document you have to write. For example, they say that in waterfall, you have to complete the requirement. So you have to write everything about requirement. Okay, before you can do the design. So it takes a lot of document. So you have the designer have to what we call read a lot of document at one single time. Okay, at one single time. This is the waterfall. That's why agile come to eliminate waste and overhead of that thing, especially meeting and document. Okay, agile activities you see it here. They are the same thing. They are the same. They are using the generic process. Okay. Requirement you see it here. We have a requirement, design, coding, test. Requirement, design, coding, test. This is the iteration one. Okay. Okay, the iteration one. This is the waterfall. Okay. You see here. You compare waterfall. Okay. You will see waterfall. This is also waterfall. Okay. Requirement, design, coding, test. Okay. And then another iteration, requirement, design, coding, test. It's the same process. Okay. It's the same process. Whatever kind of model they are using, waterfall, they're using the same process. Okay. Requirement, design, coding, test also. But the main point of agile is if every iteration, okay, they take very short time. Okay, very short time. 3 days. Okay, 3 days, 3 hours to complete. Okay, from requirement to design to coding and to test. Okay, something like this. This is we call agile. For example, you say no emphasis on any specific activity in any given iteration. Okay, focus on quick delivery. They say quick delivery of reliable software with waste eliminated. Okay, they focus on quick delivery to delivery software quickly. Okay, with reliable software, and also eliminate something that wastes. Okay, especially document and meeting. Okay, and another I add here IUP. Okay, another model does emphasize specific activity in each phase and discuss next. We will discuss about this thing. It will focus on it emphasize it made important for each activity. Okay, for each activity. But in agile, they do not emphasize, not make something important for each activity. They just requirement. They may not take the full requirement before they can design. Okay, they just take, oh, this is something that we need to change, and then we can move to design, and then they design, and then do coding. They do not wait until everything complete before move to another step. This is the fundamental of agile. Okay. It can be, you see here, the agile can be 100, okay, 100 of iterative, okay, iterative, maybe per days, for 3 days, something like that. Okay. Before we, if we want to talk about agile, we have to know about agile manifesto and agile rule, agile principle. Okay, let's see here. Okay, because it's a agile manifesto is like the standard or agreement of agile, or something that if we talk about agile, this thing will be the main thing that we discuss. Okay, created by group of agile leader. There are many persons in the group of agile leader. Okay, the philosophies that underlie agile method manifesto has a value and derived principle. Okay, the main thing is that they will what we call derive the value and the principle. Okay, we have to follow. If you want to follow some kind of process, you have to follow what we call you have to see the value they will derive for us, and then what principle we have to follow for each process. Okay, see here. Okay, manifesto value. Okay, manifesto value, for example, individual and iterative over process and tool. Okay, this is the first value. Okay, this is the first value. They say it working individual or an interaction. Okay, individual and interaction over process and tool. Okay, it's focusing on the what we call talking, the human to human, rather than process and tool. Okay, come to talk. You have to have something. Come to talk and make a decision according to this thing. Okay, working software over comprehensive document. Okay, software software is you can make a software rather than you create a lot of a huge document and then without working of software. Okay, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Working with customer, okay, working with customer, collaborate with customer rather than what we say negotiation in terms of agreement, something like that. You ask document that this thing we need the customer feedback, okay, in the real time. Respond to change, okay, respond to change. If you see something change in agile, you can make it and then build it software based on the change also, and adapt and then increase your performance, increase your development based on the change. You can respond to change. Okay, because waterfall and what we call waterfall and iterative and some kind of that thing does not respond to. It's not willing. They're not willing of requirement of change. Okay, change requirement. Okay. If we can see here, this is a summarized manifesto value. Okay, individual interactive. Okay, you want to work customer, you have to interactive. Mean you are discuss with customer and discuss with your partner and then talk to customer. Especially this one is we have a short meeting on what we call in agile, in especially Scrum, 15 minute or 10-minute meeting to discuss first and then do the what we call development. Okay, working software. Okay, this is over comprehensive document. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Okay, respond to change over following a plan. Okay, the previous process they are following a plan. Okay, they have a plan, setting a plan, and then follow. But agile is respond to change. Something happened without unexpected. So using agile it's more suitable because we can doing something. Okay, respond to the change. There are 12 principles, okay, of agile. Okay, 12 principles of agile. Safety, satisfy the customer. Okay, early, continue delivery. You see this one. I make some highlight. Satisfy the customer. Okay, what we can make customer happy. Okay, make customer happy with our development of software. Okay, the software they need, and then we can derive or we can deliver the software and then make customer happy, make satisfied. Okay. Welcome change. Okay. Welcome the change requirement. Okay. Welcome change the requirement. Welcome the change. Okay. Whatever change come, they will take the change and then adapt to the changing. Okay. Frequently. Okay. Short time scale. Okay. Shorter time scale. Okay. It will release in terms of what we call very short. Okay. If you see a lot of application today, they release frequently. Okay, frequently. If you update your application, especially your application, whatever application, when you check your update, they always some kind of update over there because they are applying the agile principle and in terms of they may using Scrum or Kanban or anything else. Okay. Business people developer work together. Okay, work together. This is the good thing. Okay, so developer working with especially developer, they do not know how to talk to people. This is the main issue because when you develop something, you have to talk to people, to people, right? What kind of thing that you need from the result of development. So talking between business people and developer will be more what we call good software derived to a customer. Motivate individual. Okay, trust. Okay, they are using trust, not document. Okay, we trust on someone. You want to to make agreement, to make some what we call work with someone. You have to have trust according to Agile, not based on the paper. Okay, not based on the paper. This one. Face-to-face conversation. Okay, face-to-face conversation. Come to talk. Okay, come to talk, and then may not by paper. Okay, may not by paper. Okay, some development, for example, big company, they are using paper. That's why I want this one. I write letter and then send to developer, and then developer develop based on that requirement. But in Agile, they have to talk face-to-face. Okay. Face-to-face and then develop based on their need. Okay, based on their need. 7, working software. Okay, this is the main target of the primary measure of progress. Working software. Even you use many tools, many method, many process, but software is not working. This is become wasting time, wasting cost. So that's why they propose the Agile to make this thing working. Okay, make this thing working. Agile process promote sustainable development. Okay, sustainable development, long development. Okay, long development. Not just suddenly you finish the project and then everything done. Not like that. There will be some kind of what we call long development. See, or we call another sustainable development, long development. For example, we have one application. You not just only one time develop and then you finish. Not like that. But there will be incremental iteration of what we call software. Okay, technical excellent and good design. Okay, they will what we call enhance the technical excellent and good design. Many Agile develop what we call process. They will design the interface first. Okay, they will design the interface, their structure, and then they implement the technical and then to see that the software is working or not, and the software can be continue delivery, continue to make it more better or not. This is we call technical excellence and good design. Simplicity. Okay, simplicity. The thing should be simple. Okay, if you want to develop something, make it simple first. This is the main the rule number 10. Okay, the principle number 10 of Agile. This is simplicity. Okay, to say something in the simple way, not make something complex and what we call difficult to develop. Okay, difficult to develop. And then self-organize the team. So Agile principle, they require the team to be small. Okay, small team. Okay, and then that's why they can talk face to face. They can negotiate. They can talk face to face without document a lot. So because they're small, they can talk like that. Okay. Last one, 12. It will be tune and adjust. It can be what we call it respond to what we call something change. Okay, something change, something that want to adapt, want to make it maximum, want to optimize, or here we call tune and adjust. It willing, okay, it welcome from that situation. Okay, this is the principle of agile. 12 principle of agile. Okay, we can say that a big company as whatever name as Microsoft, Google, IBM, blah blah blah, they are using agile as the main process, the main principle of working. Okay, they may adapt from kind of process, okay, but they are trying to use this process. That's why you see many applications they release very quick, okay, release frequently, okay, update frequently, okay. You see like a Shopee, what we call Shopee, Lazada, or whatever, some kind of application, right? Facebook or whatever, they always release update, right? This is the result of agile. They are using agile. Okay,
it's more easier to change.
Yes, they respond to changing. Okay, they respond to the change. Okay, they do not wait until something already late, but they suddenly change. For example, they found some error, they suddenly take that issue and then what we call come to add to the process of agile, and then they will release the fix of the issue, what we call quickly as possible, as the promise of agile here. You see here, right? Reliable software, they will release reliable software, the software that's strong enough, that's suitable for customer, and then customer happy quickly. Okay, eliminating everything that overhead. Okay, especially meeting and document. Okay, document.
อาจารย์
Yes.
อาจารย์นี่คืออาจารย์คือแนวคิดในการทำงานใช่ไหมอาจารย์
ใช่ It can be principle, it can be process. Okay. But the main thing is it can be the value. Okay, the value. What is the agile will what we call we provide for you in terms of value. What you will get from agile. Okay, this one is what you will get from agile.
Customers should respond to change.
And then this is a principle. Okay, if you want to use agile, you have to follow this one. Okay, you have to follow this one step by step until the 12 rule of 12 principle of agile manifesto. Okay, we'll come back to our class. Okay, we're still discussing about agile. Okay, this is about agile methodologies. Okay, the methodology, they will share the manifesto value and principle. They will implement the manifesto and principle. Okay, and you see here there are many names, many methodologies. Example here. Okay, Scrum, XP, Lean, feature driven dynamic system development. This is the name of the methodology, or we say agile methodologies that are available right now. Okay, especially Scrum and XP is become the famous methodology for agile. Okay, if we look at here, Scrum become famous one. Okay, becomes famous one, and Kanban is another name because Kanban, KANBAN. Okay, is a Kanban for agile methodology. As we say, methodology is implementing the manifesto and manifesto value and principle of agile. They implement it. Okay, they implement it. As we talk about the manifesto and principle. Okay, another model. Okay, another model of software process is we call RUP, Rational Unified Process. Okay, Rational Unified Process, RUP. Based on incremental, okay, this is based on incremental. If please anyone who do not speak, please turn off the microphone. Okay, it will not make noise to anyone. Okay, thank you. IUP is stand for Rational Unified Process. Okay, it's created by IBM. Okay, created by IBM company. Okay, based on incremental iterative delivery. Okay, it's based on incremental and iterative delivery. Same as the, we can say same as the agile. Okay, agile, but it plus something we call driven by risk. Okay, driven by risk. Okay, driven by risk. So this model will consider risk before they develop something. Okay, before they develop something. Development approach is use case driven. Okay, use case driven and architecture centric. Okay, it will use the use case. Okay, have you ever heard about in subjects of system analyze and design, software analyze and design? You will hear about use case specification, use case diagram, use case what we call activity diagram. There is we call a use case. Okay, a use case. So it will the main two thing of this process is based on use case diagram, use case driven and architecture centric. So they will design the what we call requirement in terms of use case, and then they will design the architecture. Okay, the software architecture, and then the system, the requirement and another requirement will follow that architecture. Okay, they will call architecture centric. Okay, architecture centric. Your IUP is also a process framework. Okay, it's not just only methodology; it's process framework. Okay, a process configuration create via process customize and authorize. Okay, configuration support different team size, small, medium, large, discipline or less formal development method. Okay, and this, if you can see it here, agile is suitable for what we call the traditional agile is developed for medium and small project. Okay, but for IUP, the traditional of IUP is support for small, medium, and large, and then it will what we call risk analyze based on risk analyze, and we will develop based on what we call approach use case driven architecture centric. This is IUP. It's another model. Okay, it's IUP. IUP configuration. You see this one. If you compare with another. They are iterative, incremental. You see this one, iterative, incremental. Okay. Iterative and incremental. Okay. IUP is here. IUP is here, and then waterfall is here. Okay, waterfall is here. So this is low ceremony. It's a high ceremony. It's a between. Okay, this is between. This is agile. Agile is here. Agile implementing what we call low ceremony, just enough document, light process. Okay, this is agile. Okay, this is high ceremony, detailed document. Okay, especially waterfall. You see, waterfall is high. We can ceremony. Okay, high ceremony. There are a lot of document. Okay, a lot of document. But IUP here. IUP is here. Okay. IUP is here between agile and waterfall. Okay, agile and waterfall. So it just they are implement also a detailed document, but not 100% what we call related to document. And then they adapt to what we call requirement chain. Okay, chain. They respond to the chain. Okay, something when you develop software and then the chain come, they are willing to make a change to the what we call the software. Salam. Yes. Okay. IUP. This is the phases and the milestone of IUP. Okay. This is IUP. We have inception, elaboration, and construction, and the last one is transition. Okay, transition. The first inception is about understanding the system, vision, and high-level requirement. Okay, high-level requirement or business requirement. We call another name. We call high level of requirement. Elaboration. Okay, elaboration consists of architecture focus, architecture relevant use case analyze and detail, prototype and use. Okay, prototype and use. And we discussed the prototype is the sample of system that we present to our customer before we can develop the huge one. Okay, the complete one. Construct, no non-architecture use case and detail. System is built. Okay. Transition is acceptance test and deployment. Okay, deployment. This one is the phase and the milestone. You want to implement the IUP process. Okay, to develop a software. This is thing that you have to consider if you want to use IUP. Okay. And you see a milestone. You see this one, a milestone. They will say that between inception to elaboration, they say life cycle object, business risk mitigate. Okay, business risk mitigate. They have to analyze the risk first about the requirement. This is how much time they have to have, how much cost they have to take to develop the what we call the software. Okay, the milestone for between elaboration to construction. You see, they will say architecture. Okay, technical risk migrate. Okay, mitigate. Okay, they will see the what we call the technical term. Okay, the technical term of development. What kind of technology risk or technical risk? What thing that technology that we want to use? Okay, to develop the software. And then on construction to transition, you will see the what we say initial operation capability. Okay, the operation that we want to achieve the software development. Okay, and then the last one transition will be product release. We got the software. Okay, that release that able to use in the real situation. This is discipline. Okay, the discipline. This is the process, the discipline and the phase. Okay, this is the discipline. Okay, this discipline same as what we call activities. Okay, generic activities plus with IUP. You say you have requirement, analyze, design, testing, deployment, and evolution. This is the same thing. Okay, this is the same. They are sharing the same thing plus with the IUP discipline. For example, they have configuration, project management, and environment. Okay, environment. And then we have inception. Okay, we have inception, collaboration, construction, and transition. And then this is the curve that each point, which is for example, which curve we use much in which point, which phases. Okay, which phases. For example, this one on requirement on business modeling. Sorry, business modeling. We will working with the inception a lot. Okay, inception a lot because this inception is about taking to learn about the requirement of the user from the user. Okay, we have to have the requirement. You see the curve of requirement. There are a lot here. Okay, there are a lot here because we have to take the requirement from user by using what we call method of requirement gathering. Okay, requirement gathering according to system analysis and design subject. Because this one, but analyze and design, they are not what we call not high peak on here. We have to design and analyze after we got a requirement already. You see this one, okay? And then test implementation will be in terms of construction. Okay, the construction will be the higher level of what we call implementation and testing. Okay, testing. Deployment will be after we created, implemented, we deploy on here. Okay, deploy on this side. Construction to transition, you will see this one. The curve is a little bit high. Okay, configuration. Okay, configuration. The configuration and change management is about you set up your system. Okay, set up your development environment. Setting is about configuration. Okay, take what we call editor. You are using web version control. How to deploy and GitHub, something like that. It's all about a testing unit. What we call something like that is on about configuration and change management. Okay, project management and environment setting. See this one. All of this is you combine together. We say that according to the IUP. Okay, according to the IUP process, according to IUC methodology. we can say that business modeling will be on the side. Okay, you will do on the side a lot, but not just only on exception only. But in another phases, elaboration, construction, and transition will be available also, but not too much. Okay, but not too much. You see this one according to the curve of each discipline and phases. Okay, phases. Okay. You see, there are many another model. Okay, another method such as component-based for more aspect-oriented. This one is for certain kind of project. Okay, they are not famous, but they are specific model. Okay, specific model for specific job. Okay, named as component-based, formal-based, and aspect-oriented development. For example, component-based. It's based on developing the component. Okay, as we discussed in another subject, that the component is what we call a part of software, right? We develop software not dependent on the big system, but independent. So we develop as a component that can be reusable. So they will use such thing like this. We call component-based development. Okay. And we discuss component-based reuse. Okay, reuse is one. What we call the value driven for the component base. Okay, for example, you install something by using a component. Okay, the software that divided by the component, because a component plus what we call many components combined together, merge together, will become a software. Okay, so they will develop based on the component. The main thing of component development is the reuse. Okay, or reusable of software. Okay. And then we have for more method. Okay, we have for more method. We have aspect-oriented development. Okay, okay. We have and then the main thing is we want to discuss is today is about one thing that we want to discuss today is about which process model to use. Okay, this is my question. Can you help me? Okay, because we have many, right? We have waterfall, we have iterative, we have agile, we have IUP, and so on. So, what model or what process is used to use? Okay, to use for any what we call for any software development. Can you help me, please? Yes.
You mean as we? But it's more benefit for us, or what the developer should use?
Yeah, benefit for development. Okay, for a software. If you are a software engineer, okay, and then you have to make a decision what model that you are going to use. Okay, what model you are going to use. So what thing that you will consider, okay, to use it. Yes.
For me, I think I prefer agile because it's more flexible and I can change more than one time.
Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. This is if something that is your requirement always change, right? And then you want to what we call make always what we call changeable on your system. There is agile will be the best choice for your case, right? Another idea from another person? Yes, welcome. No, okay. I write these lines to make. If you want to select the process. Okay, if you want to select the process. I say here, no one size fits all solution. Okay, this is the common sentence of anything, right? You can say that not just only one thing is fixed for all everything. Okay, no one size fits all solution. So no absolute right or wrong. Okay, no absolute right or wrong. If you want to choose waterfall, it's not wrong. Okay, if you want to choose IUP, it's not wrong. We have to see the context and environment. Okay, we have to see the context and environment. Okay, the right process. The right process, if you want to choose the right process, it should be right software. Okay, delivery the good software. Okay, appropriate level of quality. So your software should be released with the quality. Okay, and then it should be plan time and budget. It should be based on your time and your budget. That when you choose that model, it will be what time that you have, and then how much budget that you have. So which process that you want to choose. This is another criteria. Okay, first criteria is the right software. It should be released the right software with high quality and time and budget. Yeah, that thing that you have considered. There we can say that there are recommendations based on experience and listen learn. We can say until now, we can say that software engineer has to make a decision what process model that will use in your development environment. Okay, based on experience and listen learn. That means based on the developer experience and listen learn from the experience. Okay, you see this one, the process filter. If you wanna choose a process, this thing that you have to consider. Okay, this thing you have to consider. You have to consider. And project charter. Okay, project charter is about the criteria and objective of your project. Okay, objective of your project. What kind of project? It can be a system or software or web application or mobile application. This is we call project charter. So according to standard criteria, they have the standard criteria to choose. Most of them are based on the developer or engineer, software engineer experience, and then they will choose the agile or IUP or another. Okay, agile, IUP or another based on their experience. But they have to consider the project charter. Okay, the criteria and rule or thing that context and environment of the project. Okay. For example, if you want to build secure something, okay, you want to build a web application, for example, you may choose something as agile or something as IUP, or you may choose a waterfall. Okay, you may choose waterfall if the requirement fixed already, clear already. So we can choose the what we call waterfall, right? For example, but it's something changeable. Okay, always change. You have to choose agile or IUP because it responds to change, or spiral or something like that. If you have a lot of budget to develop. Okay, this is simple evolution method. Okay, to choose a kind of process. Okay, to choose a kind of process model. For example, I said here requirement change rate, architecture complexity, project size. Okay, with a mandate, team size. Okay, team size, how big your team, how many men you have. Okay, architecture, your system complex or not. Okay, your requirement is always change or not. Okay, if you do it always change or not. This one we see here. For example, if your requirement is change rate is very high, architecture very high and medium, or project size, your team is very medium and large, you can use what we call IUP. Okay, and so on. You see here. If your requirement gathering is very high also, okay, architecture is very high and medium, but your team, okay, project size is very small, okay, project size is very small, so you can use agile, for example here. This is the simple evaluation method that we can use to choose any, we can say, any process model for specific development process, software development. Okay. And you see here, does the process model choose affect future models? Okay, we can say that generic process. Okay, generic process activity, requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, evaluation are available in all process. Okay, available in all process. Whatever process you are using, this process activity included in the process. Okay, included in process model. Okay. The process model dictates the activity flow, organization, role, responsibility, and artifact granularity. Okay, the thing that you produce, that such as software component. Okay, and you say this one, the discussion about activity, for example, requirement and method, OOAD, object-oriented analysis and design, as you learn on system analysis and design. In further module is independent, okay, independent of any specific model. Okay, it's independent. Okay, requirement and method is independent. Okay, it's independent. We can say that order of activity, day flow, and role and responsibility and artifact guarantee will differ. Concept will not. Okay, you may produce many different kind of software. Okay, in terms of system software, application, web application, mobile application, or whatever. This is different artifact, but the concept will be the same. You have to follow this one. Okay, requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, and evolution, and the process model. Okay, that organize activity flow and organize the role, responsible, and artifact granularity. In summarize, we can say that process will be arrange your step of working. Okay, start from requirement to the evaluation. Okay, but the concept will be the same. Okay, concept will be the same. For example, waterfall will take for each step long time to complete. Okay, each step will be take long time to complete. But the concept will be the same. For example, we talk about requirement. So requirement, we have to take the requirement gathering. We have to analyze the requirement. We have to write some kind of requirement in some kind of form. Okay. Even we use Agile, you have to write some kind of requirement in storytelling or whatever, storyboard or user card or whatever. Okay. They are not different. But the different thing is flow, organize, and role. Okay, this is we call a concept. Okay, different this one. But the concept will not. Okay, will not different. Okay, this so you do it will take the same thing. Okay. For example, in requirement engineering. Okay, requirement engineering. You see this one. We compare between waterfall, IUP, and Agile. Three main method, okay, with three main process, okay, three main model. You see this one, they are the same thing. Requirement, design, develop. Requirement, design, and develop. Requirement, design, and develop. Same thing, okay, the same thing. Okay, we can say that for future modules are independent on any process model. Okay, concept the same. Process model choose will affect flow and end process. Okay, end process. Because the process that you choose will affect the flow and the step of working. Just that. Okay, it may working in short term. It may working with waterfall. Take a long term to finish one for each step. Okay. Okay, you want to read more result about Agile and IGP, you can go by here. Okay, Agile project management and the rational unified process and introduction. Okay, this is the more resources that you continue about project management in Agile, especially in Agile, especially in Scrum. Okay, especially in Scrum, and then you can read more about original IUP on this one. Okay, it's more comprehensive book about those process. Okay. In summary, okay. In summary, we say that we are talking about process. Okay, the process of software engineering environment. Okay, that we have process, method, and tool. Okay, process, method, and tool. We can say that waterfall is a systematic and sequential approach. Okay, in linear, sequential linear. Okay, it will step line by line. First step has to complete first, and then we can move to another step. Okay, and then it will not willing what we call requirement change. Okay, requirement change, changing of requirement. Iterative and incremental stack delivery and refine development. Okay, it will we start developing for small part and then combine together, become what we call whole system, whole application, or whole software. Okay, a prototyping, we can say early release to test concept or mitigate risk. You want to have develop some kind of application, you use a prototype, you can see what the interface will look like, what system should be work, something like that in terms of prototype, not the whole system but a part of system. Okay, part of system, then you can make the risk analysis before we can continue to develop the whole requirement. Okay, and then we get from the user feedback and user tests. Okay, spiral model. Okay, as you see, spiral model is a circle. It's driven by risk analysis, and then it implement the iterative and incremental. Okay, incremental. So in Agile, we can say quick delivery with minimum overhead. Okay, minimum overhead. This is the short meaning, the short term of agile. Okay, quick delivery with minimum overhead. Agile manifesto define. Okay, value teamwork, customer collaboration, continuous delivery, and change response. Okay, this is the short summary of agile. IUP, risk and use case driven and architecture centric. If you are designing some kind of application based on the use case specification, use case diagram, use case that we can say using UML standard version, standard library, standard language. So the IUP is suitable for you. Okay, suitable for you because it will because IUP and UML is what we call it is in the same environment. Okay, the same concept of development. Okay. We have another specific model, okay, as a component based, developed based on the component, okay, develop a part of software based on the component, and then we use we have a formal and aspect oriented development or method. This is we say that summarize of our discussion today about process. According to the introduction to software engineering, this is thing that we have to know, and then we have to understand that we have many processes. Okay, we have many processes based on thing that you want to use, and then it not exactly which process is good, which process is bad, but it's based on your content, context, and environment of your development. Okay, especially for software development. Okay. You can summarize. We can say this one. This figure is nice thing. Okay. Okay. If you look at this last slide, okay, it's talking about a generic activity. Okay, a generic process of the main three process model: waterfall, agile, and DevOps. And you see this one. They are talking about a time it will take to complete the circle. Okay, a time we take to complete a circle. Okay, you see this one waterfall, it take whole time compared to agile. For example, agile here they complete already how many times? Okay, 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, you see this one, the agile waterfall they design, coding, test, and deploy. Okay, agile they design, coding, and then they design again. Okay, the coding, they test, and then they design again, the coding, they test, and then they deploy. Okay, if you compare about waterfall, you have requirement. Okay, for example, you have a requirement, 2 requirements. Okay, 2 requirements. Okay, so you have to make sure that the requirement is design complete, and then move to code, move to test, and then move to deploy. Okay, if agile, you have 2 requirements. You develop first requirement first. Okay, first requirement. Okay. And then you design, you code, and you test, and then you make sure that requirement is complete, and then start another. Okay, design the second requirement, code and test. Okay, and then another requirement, code and test, and deploy. Okay, you see, waterfall and agile they are deployed the same time. Okay, the same time, but agile can be released with many features. Okay, in one deploy. Okay, waterfall may release all feature in one deploy, but take whole thing. Okay, that take the whole thing. This is risk in development. If you miss something, you cannot redesign. Okay, you cannot redesign. DevOps, the latest new one of operation in the software development. You can see here, they make the development more frequently release than agile. Okay. They make the release of software more frequently than agile and waterfall. You see this one, the green one, release, deploy, and then deploy, and then last one deploy. One single deploy of waterfall, it make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at least for a DevOps to deploy the software. Okay. This is the different term of in software process. If you select on any different kind of method or software process model. Okay, if you want to make your your software, you can say that certified to customer, and then when customer see that this issue, this problem or bug, we call the error in your system or your software, so you want to make it quickly. So you have to quickly in fixing the error. Okay, if you are using waterfall, it will take a long time to complete. So DevOps right now is will become the mainstream. Okay, because it implement agile. Okay, but plus DevOps to make it quick to fix a problem. Okay, and deliver it quickly.